I am glad to welcome you to PrimeStar TV. I remain your anchorman, Benro Adesina. Today, we will be talking with the legendary poet, a scholar, a teacher of teachers, the man who has seen it all. I am talking in respect of Professor NiyiOsundare. Professor NiyiOsundare, nice to have you on PrimeStar TV.
It's a great pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, good to see you, sir.
Pleasure.
It's always simple and simple and simple. I don't know. Just like Wole Soyinka with his monkey jacket, you with your usual charges and the top, the same thing with, I think, Go. All of you. What you're doing, has it got to do with the way you dress? Does it speak to the way you dress? Simplicity, or is just a kind of, you're trying to portray that life is meaningless?
No, there is nothing dramatic about it. I don't even think there is anything remarkable about it. This is who I am. I always believe that some of the most useful, some of the most valuable things in life are simple. You know, we make life unnecessarily complicated when we begin to go for the difficult. No, not the difficult is important for us to face difficult tasks. But overemphasis on unnecessary sophistication, on unnecessary buoyancy, that's really not it. Yeah, well, maybe we are like Soyinka because Soyinka was our teacher. Somebody we admired so much. Remember, there was in the 1960s what was called the Mbari smoke. Mbari. Those were wonderful days when we had Soyinka, Okibo, JP Clark, Achebe, commuted back and forth because Ibadan, and the unforgettable Ulibaya. Yes. Oh, Demaswoko. Incidentally, most of these people were my teachers at the University of Ibadan. And they said, it's not the coat and tie, that's colonial. But not the heavy agbada, which is flamboyant.
Like politicians.
Like politicians, flamboyant and deceitful or whatever, because many of these people hide a lot of evil under their big robes. Why don't we create something that people will wear, will be decent, will be beautiful? And that was it. At that time, I was in secondary school, and I admired them. That simplicity in itself. So that was how the embroidered top came about. Okay. And they went directly to patronize local cloth weavers. Adire became popular, batik, Shogboede, Ibadan group, produced batik. The things that the so-called top notch of the Nigerian elite at that time were looking down upon, was they who promoted them, and that is it. That you don't. Many people put on layers and layers and layers of fabric because they know they are naked. They're naked. No matter how much they put on, we can see through them. Yeah,
what they stand for.
What they stand for. And I also dare say that it looks to me like a common trait of artists all over the world. Look at the Beatles, for example. They were curated at a time, do this, do that. But after some time, when they became really mature, look, you saw them, and what you saw was simple. But their music lives and lives still very much with us.
Yes,
yeah.
Today.
So this is it. Comfort. This is what clothing is supposed to provide for human beings. Why should I go buy lace? The 10,000 naira a yard and so on because I want to impress. Especially when these fabrics are made outside Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something I find still difficult to swallow.
So we should patronize the locally made products.
Patronize locally made products because they are made by us. That's number one. Number two, the economy, that's number two. There is something artificial and something artificial in people going for all these shiny, glittering things all over the place. What I keep saying all the time is, what point are you trying to make? What you see is shinier than yours, right? We should leave more time to thinking and building and improving the country than living all the while, all the days of our lives on the wealth of our wardrobe.
Or illusions.
The illusions, yes, and the wealth of our wardrobe. I don't live in the wardrobe.
I am also interested in some of the pranks that you played, that you were involved when you were young, as you were growing up.
I must tell you that many of my colleagues considered me Mr. Pio. Why? I had very, very stern parents. Oh my God. I have never put a cigarette in my mouth before.
Okay.
We couldn't drink, I don't know. That way of bringing me up has actually affected my life.
Okay.
Because right now, I don't know when last did I take a bottle of beer? Maybe 2 years or 3 years. Because the thing doesn't even appeal to me at all. Moderation, discipline, a kind of abstemious life, temperance. These were things, in fact, I used to think that my parents were too strict.
Okay.
Until I got to school. School was school in those days. Yeah. And I discovered that the teacher and my father complemented each other. I was lucky because I was quite a bright student. So I didn't receive much of the teacher's cane. And because I started school by doing well, I wanted it to continue. And the only way it could continue was to really face serious reading and so on. I have always been inquisitive, So I can't remember any when I was at my grammar school. That was my first secondary school. It was what we had was a boarding system, and my God, it was a small school. When my set entered my grammar school in 1961, we brought the entire population of the school to 81, either 81 or 83. The principal knew the names of virtually everybody, and Chief Adenira was hot. Oh my God, B.A. Durham, and he was the one teaching us Latin. And he had
secondary school.
Secondary school. He had the cane and so on. No, I'm just looking at how that morphed, how the home discipline morphed into the school discipline. If I thought my father was strict, what about this teacher? In those days, if you were punished in school and you got home and reported, your parents will go to school to thank the teacher for doing his job. These days, they will go with a team of thugs to rubbish the teacher. So I can't remember any pranks. Many people will consider me a nerd, N-E-R-D, these days. I took to the book instantly. I think it absorbed. By the time I was in, before I entered Amway Grammar School as a student, 1961, I had read, in AriyikeAkinbobola, I had read half of Latin for Today, no, First Steps in Latin, and 1/3 of Latin for Today. Those were books we studied. Latin, I took to Latin, and Latin is rigorous. And then fear, the fear. You didn't want to offend your parents. My mother, now there was a contrast between my father and my mother.
Okay.
My father was tall, lanky, and he was a farmer.
Okay.
My God, people say that I inherited workaholism from him. I think I believe them. Yes. No matter what the weather, my father would want to go to the farm. I remember one instance, Osun River.
Okay.
That is the river our family was named after, was in flood.
Okay.
Ooh, it was
Osundare.
yes, Osundare, yeah. Osun was in flood. Osun is just a couple of yards from our family house, and it also crosses the way to my father's farm. So when people got there, the community had to bridge the river, as it were, to throw a bridge over it. And I hadn't even started school. I was watching the way people were doing it, the way they coordinated, and the shame that they cast on lazy people. Yeah, it's hard work. So this day nobody wanted to cross because the current of the river was really fast. So as we were approached, we saw that people were going back. But my father was going through towards the river, and I was wondering. When we got to the edge, he said, "Come," and he put me on his shoulder and swam across the river. The river could have swept both of us, because the river did kill many people. When we got to the other side, we were dripping, both of us, and he said, "Yeah, that's life. It is not every time you walk through. Sometimes you have to." This is the kind of father I had. He didn't want to miss his beat on the farm, And mother, when my mother died, I did a tribute.
She was a trader?
She was a cloth weaver. Incidentally, she was the one who wove the fabric that was made into my first uniform in 1953. Yeah, because in those days, it is ashopotoki, kijipa was what we used. The cotton came from my father's farm. My mother took the cotton, ginned it, did all kinds of things, made a fabric out of it, until we had that thick fabric, and she passed it on to my father's brother, who was a tailor. And that one was one who sewed it. It's some kind of buba, and with a button here, so that you pull it up and off your head. My mother was very hardworking, very quiet. Quiet and tough.
Okay.
Oh my God, you dare not offend. Now, 1957 or 58, I was coming from school, and I got to Ojaoba Atiba. That's Ikere.
Okay.
The market is right in front of
the palace.
The Oba's palace.
Yes.
And I saw a kobo. The one
that brown coin.
Yeah. I don't know who dropped it there, so I picked it up. It was a lot of money in those days. So I got home, Mama, Mother, look at the kobo that I picked up, that I found. And I thought my mother would say, bring it, and then, because that could will provide us food for a day or two. And my mother looked at me and said, "You found it on the ground?" I said,
"You picked it?"
She said, Orami Shuron, Shola. Yes, I don't come from the ranks of people who thrive on other people's money.
Wow.
So the road does not grow money. Take that cover back to where you picked it up. But before she did that, my God, she pulled my ear, my left ear like this. I dropped my
Very painful.
and ran back. When I got there, I threw the cover back into the dust. As I said in my tribute, I returned home coverless, a poor man, but I returned home richer than any king in the world. Yeah. So those things shaped my life. That's why many people consider me harsh. They consider me too frugal. Another thing is, don't waste things. My father produced the food. The food we ate came from my father's farm.
And don't take what doesn't belong to you.
Never take what doesn't belong to you. I had no time for pranks. Now, I think I was the first one to know how to pound yam. Pounded yam is
As a kitty man.
typical Ekiti food. And when we came back from school, my mates and friends would go to Osun River to swim. But I think there was an accident sometime, and one of them was swept away by the current. But even before then, I had no time to go there. Homework. Have you done your homework? There was no time, So my mother said, "Yeah, nobody knows what tomorrow is going to be like. I want you to know how to cook and how to make good soup." And I tell you, I never knew it would be like this. I'm still very much a man of the kitchen. Today. So that was it. And father would say, "You will remember, mommy know me." It is book knowledge I don't have. I have internal intelligence. That pride and that way of doing things. I never saw my parents steal anybody's. I never heard them speak ill of people outside. Behind their backs. And so my father was bold enough to say, when I was going to school, to secondary school, on that day before I left home, that was the first time I was leaving home, January 1961, told me to kneel. There was a family gathering. So I was on my knees, and my father prayed for me, the others prayed, and so on. And as I rose, he said, "Remember whose son you are."
Yes.
Put that in all the books that I have bought for you. I used to do it. I would write my name. Remember, Ranti Omo. For father to be able to say that, he must have been confident in himself, that he had done the right thing by us, and we should follow that way. There were classmates who would go to the churchyard to pluck mangoes, pluck oranges when they had been told never to do that. Some of them would fall from the tree, and I never know. So when I got to secondary school, it was a boarding school. Some people would sneak out at night. It sounded strange to me. We were given, if we want to go out of the campus, we needed an exit. There was a time our teacher said, "Osundare, all this, one for 1 year, you haven't taken one exit." I said, "There is no way to go." Because when they were going out, it was the library I went to. And then we had an open day once a month. You could go out after breakfast and come back for dinner. I didn't go out many times. Library. That's why in my final year, the teachers all voted to make me library prefect. And I tell you, when our school certificate result came out in March 1967, oh yes, in those days, there was honesty. And I had what the principal told us was one of the best results in West Africa. A1 in his Latin. Nobody had ever scored A1 there. A1 in Yoruba, A1 in English, and so on. It was like And the principal said, and I said, thanks to Amoye Library. Our principal used to tell my juniors in school that, go and read. This is what so said. I have always been a book person. It was not easy because my colleagues ridiculed me. They said I was too strict. I was too strict.
Bookworm.
I was a bookworm. And another problem is, in those days, there was discipline. There were 3 secondary schools in Ikere: Annunciation School, St. Louis the Grammar School, owned by Catholics, and our grammar school was set up by the Ikere community. So we were few, but there was a girls' school. And people used to write letters to one another. It was amazing how, if you wrote a love letter, the principal, because the principal opened and read all the letters. And there was some kind of agreement between our principal and the principal of the girls' school over there. So you wrote the
love letter.
Yes, what do they call it? The sugar of my tea, the salt of my sea, and so on. Those, they will read the letters in the assembly, and after that, somebody will mount you up, and the principal will give you 6 strokes.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah,
Oh my God!
Discipline we were brought up on. If it happened that way, and the principal of the girls' school saw your letter, he will send the letter back
to the principal.
Your principal.
Ah.
Yeah. So people were really afraid. Yeah, there were people who liked you because you were brilliant. Because even at that time, yeah. But I had no eye for that. I was because when you start coming first, when you start right from the beginning as doing well, it becomes a burden. You don't want to drop. The expectations people had built on for you. Yeah. So that was the challenge.
Many of your colleagues, they left the shore of Nigeria. Yourself, Wole Soyinka, Ashebe, and people will wonder that why is it that you did not stay back to at least give back to the country that's made you? Is that do you think that people of your colleagues, yourself and others that fall within that that class, do you think you were national or nationalistic enough to have left the country rather than you teaching in the university and traveled abroad to be useful to them?
By way of correction, Achebe never left the country.
Okay.
It was circumstances that took him there. 1990, he had that terrible accident on his way to Lagos. He was coming from Nsukka where he was teaching. And that was what took him abroad, because he had to be on in the wheelchair for the rest of his life. The care he needed was available there.
Okay.
Oga Achebe probably wouldn't have lived as long as he did if he remained in Nigeria. Nigeria had no facilities for people like him. I used to speak
medical facilities.
Medical facility. I used to talk to him, to speak with him. I miss him even right now, and we would joke and so on. But you will see, Achebe was an indigenous person to the core. Exile was unkind to somebody like him. So we should take him out of the diaspora story, but I know where you are going. We have time to talk about that.
Okay.
Wole Soyinka finished the University of Leeds and came back. He was the one who set up the Orison Theatre, the university here, and he started playing his role as a teacher, as a dramatist. Those were the people who built up the academic the academic drama tradition. The University of Ibadan here. And things were, Nigerian politics turned sour, even dangerous. The things his eyes went through, these things his eyes saw during the wet years. Oh my God, no. I don't think there is any Nigerian writer that has suffered the way Soyinka has suffered in the hands of successive Nigerian government. And yet he refused to go. Remember, I love my country, I no go die. Now inside them, I go live and die. When he pushed me, so I pull him, so he push me, I push him. I no go die. Yeah, it is a deliberately obstinate determination that led him to that. Didn't go. Then Nigerian politics produced a civil war. Soyinka went around saying we must prevent this war from happening. War will not solve our problems. And it hasn't. Yeah, this is 2025. We're talking about 1966, this is 1967. No. And the government of Gowon, they picked him up and put him in incarceration. Solitary confinement. Yes. He had to leave the country because the country became too hostile to him. He even lived in Ghana for some time and edited a transition, So when the situation was a little better, came back. Soyinka, here is somebody who cannot live outside Nigeria for any length of time. And now, me, again, a family story. We have 3 kids. The middle one, who is very intelligent, who is deaf. Yeah, couldn't talk, didn't hear. When her brother left for the University of Ibadan to study law, and her sister, that's our youngest, left for the international school, she was the only one left at home. She was at the University of Ibadan staff school for children, but she couldn't cope because there was nobody who knew the sign language, and she didn't hear what was happening. Each time she got home, because she's very ambitious, she became really unhappy. So what is this? You can imagine what that kind of situation does to parents. So there was that for 2 weeks she didn't sleep, and we couldn't sleep. I was head of the English department, working as University of Ibadan here. So at the end of one of those bouts, my wife said, we had to take this girl out. My mind went to Kenya, but Kenya had a place for the deaf. Then South Africa, Morocco, I had no foreign exchange. It was at that point I spoke to people at the University of New Orleans. I had done 1 year there before. They wanted me to stay, yes. Okay. I said no, I was returning home. That was October 22nd, 1992. They wanted me to really stay, and it was a good university, but I returned to Nigeria. Then they told me, anytime you want to come back, just 1 letter. So that was what I did, and they made all the arrangements because we had to hurry our girl out of Nigeria. I had 4 PhD theses in my hand. 2 of the students came, and I told them I had to go. One of them was close to tears. Wow. Said, no, I said, no, this is not the end. I will do the job. I took those things with me to the university. I was combining, supervising them with rigorous teaching. And I tell you, teaching is serious business in America. Not the year that it has become in Nigeria now. You wouldn't see your supervisor for months, and you come to class late, and so you dare not, No. I mean, the number of exams you have to give to your students, the number of quizzes, the number of essays, out of class essay, in class essay, student evaluation, those things are usually put together. That will determine whether you still be a professor next semester or they will ask you to go. Yeah, serious work. So I dare not try those things now because I was strong at that time. I was combining supervising my Ibadan thesis with real serious work at the University of New Orleans. There was no email at that time. So my students would take the chapters, because I usually supervise chapter by chapter so that I can see your progress
yes.
as we go on. They will go to the IITA, because of the traffic between Nigeria and the IITA, the West Oxford, they will give the chapter to somebody else. Anywhere you land in
US.
In the US, just post. And I used to get it. But I had no such for the return courier. I was using DHL, very expensive, Anyway.
And you were using your own money.
My own money, yeah. By the time I finished the first year or so, one of the students, the thesis was ready. By the time I came back, two of them were ready. All four graduated and they passed very well. I'm happy to say that three of them are professors.
Today.
One was a professor, but she was more or less seconded to the federal ministry in Abuja. As she rose, she became a permanent secretary. Yes, we communicate, each time I remember them, my heart,
you are happy.
Really happy. Yeah. Those were four of the, I don't know how many, about 8 or so that I supervised. But I took those 4 with me. So I left Nigeria, but I carried Nigeria with me. This is why I'm so angry at this country. So diaspora, that's one of the big issues. I actually anticipated that you would talk about. The Nigerian rulers will forever be held responsible for the harm they are doing to this country. It is our rulers that are driving our best brains abroad. I finished my PhD exam was it May or something, 1979. The next week, I was making arrangements with cargo ships or whatever, how to come back to Nigeria. Within a short time, I was back. Nigeria was an attractive country at that time. You finish where you were, you came home. It is the opposite now. Nigeria is uninhabitable the way it is now. Yes, quote me anywhere. I have been saying that, in fact, that is the crux of my forthcoming book. Those who live are escaping. They are running away. Because I have lived on both sides of the Atlantic. I'm able to write about this. It is our rulers that drive our people away. The future will never forgive them. The politicians who steal our money, the politicians who make life impossible in this country, the politicians who make it impossible for us to have electricity in 2025. I'm suffering it. We are in front of my house here. Some of my recent poems are on NEPA again. I have been writing about NEPA.
IBDC.
Yeah, well, that's what they call it. The distribution company, whatever. How do you blame them? There is no national generation of electricity, or it's not enough, and you're asking people to distribute. Can you distribute what does not exist? This is a sad country. Sad and embarrassing country. And I don't know why people who rule us are not ashamed. They make me ashamed of Nigeria. But it is my country. I love Nigeria, but they make me. These things, they make me angry. You can see the way I'm raising my voice. The diaspora is hell. Let people know that. Why? People who live, most of them live involuntarily. involuntarily. I have been to so many of the continents for reading, to give lectures. Everywhere I have gone, I have found Nigerians. And they will come to you after your lecture and greet you. 95 of them, percent of them, talk regretfully about Nigeria. You know, there is nowhere like home. One of my father's favorite songs is Suffering afflicts the stranger in a foreign land. We are most treasured in our own home. The Nigerian rulers, they are not leaders. Nigeria has not produced a leader at the federal level. No.
Up to today?
No. The Nigerian rulers are the ones who make Nigeria uninhabitable. You know, so diaspora, again, how does our government see the diaspora issue? They celebrate it. You know why? Because they say they are bringing, the Nigerians in the diaspora are sending in diaspora remittances. They see our suffering in monetary terms. How will these rulers not remind you of the kings and chiefs and so on who sold our people into slavery 400 years ago, 300 years ago?
They are not different? Is that what you're saying?
Those people sold our people for money, for whiskey, for mirrors and beads and so on. This is an aspect of our history many people don't want us to tell. We must tell people that. Yeah. Europeans wouldn't have bought Africans if Africans had not sold their brothers and sisters to them. Yeah. So they were gaining by selling. Today, you steal our money in Nigeria and send the money to Swiss banks, New York banks, London banks, and so on. These days, they're even going south, either to Brazil or to whatever. And those people are using our money to develop their own economy, and we are suffering here. You know. So what's the difference? So the remittances they are talking about, I would see as blood money, really. Yeah. Because the diaspora is not paradise, as many people. If people live in the diaspora, we tell
share their experiences.
Yes. From my own personal experience, I haven't suffered because I went there as a professor, and then I made sure that my link with Nigeria was there, and the University of New Orleans was very kind to me because they allowed me to take frequent leaves of absence. Although those are leaves that
without pay.
Without pay, yes, and then come to Nigeria. That's why many people don't know whether I live in Nigeria or I live there. Yeah, I remember the year 2000, the entire year I spent here. Year 2020. 2 years later, the entire year I spent here. Other ones, I will spend just one semester here and one semester over there. Why am I doing that? It's because this is, difficult as this place is, this is one place where I walk the street and nobody calls me nigger. Yeah. Yeah. Money is not everything. No,
using derogatory terms.
Derogatory term.
On you.
Yeah, I enjoyed my teaching at the University of New Orleans, and I tell you, I gained a lot by also experiencing the Western way. I studied in Leeds and Toronto and so on, but as a teacher, a lot to learn over there. But I don't think any minute passed without my remembering Nigeria. Yes. What I could be doing, I don't say I'm a wise person, but I know I'm more experienced as a teacher now than I was 5 years, 10 years, 15 years ago. What I could still offer. You know, University of Ghana is here, whatever university and so on, you know, you are developing, you are helping to develop the country. Many of our people who are stranded, many of them are stranded in the diaspora, don't have this opportunity. Then, diaspora is not honey, and it's not milk and honey. Many Nigerians suffer in the diaspora. The few successful ones who send pictures of big cars, the highway, the driveway, 2-3 cars, in the
Big houses,
big houses, and so on, and who will hold a cup of caviar in their hand. You see, we're enjoying. That is just showboating, as they say. It's just no. There are many Nigerians that are there that have no jobs. There are many of them, that is, they are unemployed. There are many that are misemployed. There are many that are underemployed. Yeah. So a friend of mine, who's very well paid, cardiovascular specialist, will tell you, oh, America, you earn money in America, you don't enjoy spending it.
Because it's work.
It's work. Not only that, at times you wonder, what am I contributing to America's greatness? It is a terrible thing when you live in a place where you don't matter. And that is the curse that diaspora puts on many of our people, is the burden.
Irrespective of what you are contributing there.
Oh yes, the psychological, the psychological part of it, that is something you fight every time, no matter how much you try to belong. There is something there that tells you, oh, the lobster may strive to be like a scorpion, but it can never be a scorpion. The driftwood may stay 100 years in the lake. It can never become a crocodile. This is what I'm saying. One of the essays coming in this book, I call it "When in Rome." That's the title. Yeah, you know, people say when you are in Rome, be like the Romans.
Yes.
Fine. It's easy to say. But can you really become Romans if you are not Romans? The real Romans keep reminding you
that you are not
the
from
color of your
part
skin,
of it,
the shape of your lips, the kind of hair you have on your head, before they even see what the brain you have inside that head. So that one is not the solution. It isn't at all. And the burden of guilt. Many Nigerians in the diaspora also, especially our medical staff, no, Nigeria has done us ill. Our medical doctors. You know how expensive it is to train a medical doctor? You use Nigerian money training them and so on, and some of them are some of the best in the world. Really, really good. Now you've trained them, it's time now for them to serve this country, to give something back. And then you treat them so shabbily. What happens? Britain grabs them. America grabs them.
And they pay them peanuts.
Yes, take them away. Now, when you are sick, or got head of state, or got governor, you have a headache, you are in France, or you are in London. You know, the countries of people who think, people who have built their society, you go there for that. Most of the time, it is Nigerian doctors that treat these people over there. We don't have
with exorbitant bills.
We don't have leaders in Nigeria. We have disablers. They disable us. They make it impossible to achieve what this country is capable of achieving. The UCH was one of the best teaching hospitals
in Ibadan.
In the Commonwealth.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
And one of the best.
No, I mean UCH in Ibadan.
Our UCH here. My wife trained there. You know, she started her career.
Oh, she's a nurse.
Yes. You know, till she became. Now she's a public social worker, public MPH. Masters in public health.
Okay.
Which she also got here. Now she's in the US. When we were cutting, I used to go there. I mean, I longed to go to I was a student at the University of Ibadan. Everything was neat. The bed sheets, they had UCH imprinted on them, and the students were proud. I know so many girls that preferred the UCH, that is to study nursing, UH, to going to the university. Yeah, because, and then young doctors will come. I remember Adebonojo, no, there were quite a number of, the son of the Nigerian representative in the United Nations, Adebonojo, Bola Jao, and so on. They were about the same age, they came back, same time. I mean, there was nothing UCH couldn't handle. Oh, yes. When the British Navy was around the Atlantic or whatever, and they were around West Africa, they used to send their officers to the UCH. I think the UCH and Kolebo in Ghana.
Okay.
No. Saudi Arabia people, the princes and so on, used to come to the UCH for treatment. I was home February, March, and so on. The UCH was in darkness. I couldn't go there because I knew it would give me trauma, because I knew the UCH was darkness. Darkness in the hospital. You are on a very delicate surgery, and all of a sudden, boom,
light is gone.
Light is gone. What kind of country is this? You know. So, can you blame those people who say, no, I want to be a doctor, not a killer. Let me go to anywhere in the world where I can practice my art. It is Nigerian rulers, the thieves who rule us, that drive our people away. Let the world know this. Nigeria is not a country the way it is now. No. You know, we know what this country is capable of doing. This is one of the most endowed countries in the world. There is nothing we don't have. From our east to our south, to our southwest, to the north, the middle belt, we could be self-sufficient. Benue could produce enough food for all of us to eat. You know, go to Benue now. Yes, you know. How can a country be like this? The whole northern part is terrorized out of literally out of existence.
Alternative government now.
Yeah, these people have become an alternative government. A friend of mine was talking to me, and I said, I hadn't been home for so many years because I was afraid of being kidnapped. He said, what will make kidnap? Don't they have a government in your country? I laughed. I didn't say yes. I didn't answer yes or no. I just laughed. A very sorry laugh. No. The people who rule us, are they ashamed? You know, many of them grew up here. Yeah. Was this the Nigeria they grew up in? No. So diaspora, it is the soul in all our hearts. Now, university upon university upon university, they are setting up universities all over the place. Who is going to be teaching them? The more universities Nigeria sets up, the more illiterate we become. No, this is a jungle. Really, as we are here now, there is no power.
Nigeria is a jungle.
Nigeria is a jungle. Oh, it's a very, very dangerous jungle, a very shameful jungle. And our rulers make us so. And the people of this country are not completely without their own fault too. We take too much rubbish. Yeah, this is the theme of my poem that is in the WAEC syllabus, The Leader and the Led. Yeah, a good leader is the one who leads by following. A good follower is the one who follows and makes himself or herself capable of leading. Yeah, our rulers take us for granted because we put our hands together and we say, put the cuffs here. You know, I mean, are people telling our rulers the truth? Or do they open their eyes? I tell the president's wife, all the wives of the governors, all the wives of our senators, all the wives of of our assembly people and the local government people, let them go to the market. No, not just the wives and their husbands. Let them go to the market and see how costly food is now. You know, when you sit at the table and you are being fed at the nation's expense, you wouldn't know. If the baby strapped to your back in the safety of the mother's back does not know how long the road is. This is not a country, not yet.
But sir, one will wonder, people like you with this high value that can effect, a change, why can't you find yourself, in the government? Maybe you can do something. Or is it that they are blocking you? Or have you ever been invited to participate in the government?
Yes, 3 times.
You were invited.
Yeah, but the thing really is, I don't talk about these things. There are certain things you just keep to
yourself.
To yourself, yes.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. People did come to me and said that I was being expected in the old Ondo state to become commissioner.
Okay.
They were suggesting that I should be commissioner for education. And I said, no, I couldn't do it because it was during the military military administration, military era. And I was one of those being persecuted for speaking the truth to them. When your enemies begin to invite you, you will be a fool to go there because it is not it's not your service they are interested in. They want to neutralize you. No, I wouldn't walk into any temptation with eyes either open or closed. So I said no. I think that Babangida was in power then. Some guys came to me and said, what about becoming an ambassador? And you know who was in government then? Abacha. November 10, 1995 was when Abacha hanged Kensarowiwa. I was in the UK for Africa 95. After that, I was invited to the University of Birmingham as a Cadbury scholar. Then after that, we had, I think there were, how many of us? 3 of us did a tour, a reading tour of Britain, Scotland, Ireland, and England, and so on. I was invited to the University of Scotland, to University of Edinburgh, to give a talk. But I was already at the University of Birmingham as Cadbury scholar. So we took the train to the place. Everything went well. But that was when the noise of Kensarowiwa's incarceration was everywhere. Oh yeah, it was a lot of noise because people were trying to pressurize Abacha.
Not to execute them.
Not to execute. I think the train journey was about 2 hours plus. When I landed in Edinburgh, I saw that the faces of my colleagues who came to meet me at the train station were heavy. And all they said is, they killed him. They didn't even need to mention any name. My back dropped from my hand. Yeah. The lecture I gave 2 days later, I had to adapt. I had to change the first 2 pages. Talk about why Nigerian literature, why African literature is so political. Political in quotes. Okay. Yeah. Kensarowiwa was not just a writer, he was also into politics for the defense of his people, for the environment. It's not possible to be in Africa without. Anyway, the Scotsman, that's Scotland's leading newspaper, came to interview me, and I did the interview well. One of the things I I inherited from my father is speaking out. Yeah. And I spoke my mind. When then the following day, a whole page, it's my picture there and the things I said. My colleagues, without telling me, these people are very thoughtful. They said, we don't want to lose another writer. How can this one go back to Nigeria?
No way.
With all the things he said about military dictatorship. No. So they were then wondering, what do we do? Then they came to me, they said, maybe I should consider what we now call the Nadeko route.
Okay.
I said, give me a few hours to think about this. Nadeko route, I thought about again. You'll be going through villages.
Republic of Benin.
It could be accidentalized and done away with. No, eventually, we agreed it would be better to go back by plane. My colleagues didn't tell me that they made all the diplomatic arrangements. Yeah. British Airways was the one that took me, and I landed in Lagos and got back to Ibadan. It was not until 2 years later that one of these colleagues, bless him, is passed away now, Angus Calder, one of the Africanist, beautiful human being. This is why racism, I believe that whoever is a racist is a stupid person. If you say tribalist is a stupid person. Human beings are the same. We are good or bad depending upon the situation we are in. The way Angus took over the matters relating to my safety, when I was behind my back, I didn't know. At the time I landed in Lagos, there were people watching me. I didn't know I was being watched.
The security people?
Yeah, people from the embassies.
Okay.
Yeah. That was it. And then you came to me after that and said you should consider being an ambassador. That is, if I were an ambassador at the time, Nigerian ambassador, at the time Ken Saro-Wiwa was killed, I would have had to go out and defend that crime. Yeah. No. General Obasanjo gave me a job too, 1999, I think. In fact, that's the one I made public.
Okay, a
member of, something of museums and, or whatever. Of course, no position is too small for you to serve your country. But people say I'm stubborn. Yes. I want to be appointed in a human and respectful way. I just heard that my name had been announced. NTA, the name was in the newspapers. Yeah. I learned about this at Heathrow. I came all the way from England, from the US. We had a conference in Cambridge. And my friends, Femi Shofison and Guru Oni, came from Nigeria. Yeah, we were going to the same conference. So it was they who told me that I had been given this appointment. And I said, really? Is it a joke? He said, no, it was on yesterday on NTA News. And I said, hired on radio. That was all I said. We never talked about it again. The conference took 3 days. The 4th day I was back in the US, and my wife said, what kind of appointment is this they're talking about? People were calling and leaving messages on my voicemail. So I listened to them, my congratulations. I said, oh yeah, this is the time to serve. I said, what kind of thing is this? So I called an old student of Christ School, Oga Nawa, used to serve the IITA.
Okay.
Oga, how are you? And he said, congratulations. I think he was in Washington, D.C. then. Said, then he laughed. He said, he was an alumnus of Christ School. And, that's my alma mater too. He said, 3 other alumni were around. And they talked about the appointment, my new appointment. And two of them said, no, 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 Osundare will never take that. And one said, oh, how are you sure that all these people, the way they send their CV all over the place? He said that. I said, Oga, Odaro. And I went to my computer. Hired on radio was the title. See, whoever hires you on radio that way will complete your humiliation by firing you on the same media. No. So I made it public. Mr. President, thank you. I didn't write to you for a job. I'm a teacher. And that is, I'm not paid much, but at least I'm living and I'm contributing something. That was it. I think it was carried by about 5 or 6 papers, 1999. When I got back to Nigeria here, some of my colleagues said, Niyi, I was surprised that about 2 of them then blamed me. Said, you shouldn't have made it public. I said, what? Am I abusing anybody there? I mean, the way he talked, I said, why don't you go to Abuja? I'm sure the job is still waiting. You know. The intellectual in this country, a public officer, my tribute to Dr. Dare,
okay.
He turned 70, what I based it on. It is in a book edited by one of our most versatile scholars, Wale
Adebanwi.
Yes, and the politics, public space, and the Nigerian intellectual. That's what I was talking about. Many of our colleagues have not served the academy well. One leg on the university campus, the other leg, and the government are looking for jobs. You know,
For appointments.
They really allowed the Nigerian rulers to make the worst of us. During the military era, one of the governors, soldiers don't like universities. The deterioration of Nigerian academia began with military dictatorship. They did every time you meet, they say, you people. It's you people. You people. You will be writing things in the papers. You people, you will be doing this. Many of them wanted to go to university, they couldn't because they didn't qualify. That's why they went to the army. Now such people become governors, and then you are rushing to them. Oh, no, no, no. They display your CV. No. This governor said, what is happening in the university, on the university campuses? Said, every day, people are either coming directly, or they send in their traditional rulers, or they send in just to look for a job. I feel so bad. And as I said in that essay, I said that soldier was being disingenuous. Things were so bad because they made them bad. You know, yeah. When I was, I think 1990, the time they first came to me. No. That's the second time when they said Abeka wanted to make me ambassador or whatever. I was head of department and I was professor at the bar. My salary, my basic salary was 3,000 plus. 3,000. When they added head of department's allowance, this and that, if I earned 7,400 in a month, I was lucky. It was terrible, it was humiliating. The temptation was there. That was why I had to tell our colleagues, don't take this out on the students. No, it's Nigerian rulers doing this to us. Don't sell handouts. All the time I was there, my colleagues didn't. Don't drop hints in the class that you needed certain things. You know, because when you go to class and you say, good afternoon, class. Sorry I was late, you see, because 2 of my tires are bad. The class rep, after you left, the class rep knew what to do. Yeah, donating money. That is killing the students, killing education, killing honesty. It's not good. No, this house, That's stories. Yeah. We started building it January 1st, 1994, and it is not complete yet. No. I am lucky because of these invitations. You know, when they invite you for these lectures or for readings abroad, they don't pay you much. You know, it's the honor, really.
Okay.
How do you save? They give you what they call per diem, so usually small. I wouldn't eat breakfast until about 10:30. So I could skip lunch. You know, then after your reading or your lecture in the evening, they usually honor you with a banquet. So I will eat there. That means I will save the money for 2 meals. That's yeah. So each time I came back, I would say, oh yeah, I know all the important, the decking of this house. I think I put up after I came back from either Sweden or Norway. The money how did it happen? I was invited, and the guys wrote to me, kind people. They said, this is your honorarium, but we are offering you a first-class ticket.
Okay.
But if you could take economy, if you could fly economy, we would then save whatever was left and add it to your honorarium. You know, who says that there are no kind white people? I never met them before. Yes, very sensitive people, very reasonable. There are people who think, and that is why their countries are like that. Our rulers don't think. I wrote back to say, thank you very much. Yeah, economy. So I flew economy. By the time I finished my business, yeah, it was Norway. I had quite a bit to. Okay. I told my wife, this is what I have brought. So we exchanged the money and whatever, and got the carpenter, the bricklayer, the welder, and so on. Each day, because they said they had to finish the job one day.
Yes, decking. Yes, that's how they do it.
Yes, and I didn't have them. That was how the money came. So today, when I'm there and I'm doing this, and the bricklayer said, "Oga, you are from Ekiti. Oniya, we are going to do this deck in such a way that you can find it will not collapse. It will not collapse. Yeah, every bit here. That's how this came about. So when I sleep, it's with both eyes. Unfortunately, I can't sleep well because of the problems of Nigeria. You know, no. So this is really it. I believe I'm serving by being able to talk with an open mind like this. Yoruba people say, "Tenoba jedodo." Yeah.
Yes.
No, people in power. I'm a scholar. I know the world. You know, the way they capture you, you know, yeah, you're talking, and it has happened to many of our colleagues. You know, how could a professor of philosophy go to serve a military government? A military government as murderous and as medieval as that of Abacha. You know, professors of political science. They were there in the corridors with Babangida, a little to the left, a little to the right. They were doing all these and all those things for them. You know, they sold us cheap. I mentioned this in my essay on Osundare, trying to put the book together for next year. Yeah, you know, we sold ourselves cheap. Am I blaming them? No, you know, because they too wanted to escape the hunger strike, the hunger trap. You know, this is not how countries treat their intellectuals. But intellectuals should also, it takes a lot of effort to be yourself in this country.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the temptation. You have to know how to say no. Many people don't. Well, that's what they have chosen. But we didn't earn our respect from the soldiers. We fell into their trap.
Before we leave politics, let me ask this. The Yoruba political leaders, you see them putting on Awolowo's cap. And of course, with that, they describe themselves as Awos. Do you see them as Awos?
Well, you have answered the question before, because you said they describe themselves. That's what they think they are. Awolowo, no, let us not foul the name and legacy of that man. That was a man in a million. When he died in 19, when was it? 1987? Still remember. He had a book he was working on. That morning, from what we heard, I think he went from his study to the bathroom. He had a book, a chapter of the new book he was working on. When we heard about his death, I told my students, I said, come. Awolowo was not doing that because he wanted to apply for a professorship. He was not doing that because, I said, that is a man of ideas. It is such men that build countries. Ask Lee Kuan Yew, ask Mitterrand, France, ask Obama. Obama belonged. Ask Mandela. Ask Gandhi. Yeah, these are Chairman Mao was a poet, you know. So, you say you are an Awoist. How many of you have read Awo's books? Do you know Awo's ideas? 1948, Awolowo wrote Path to Nigerian Freedom, or whatever. Book after book, he had said it, that Nigeria should, because Nigeria is a multilingual and multi-ethnic country, the only thing that can save us is a working federal system.
Okay.
Yeah. Let the center be, don't make the center so
powerful,
strong,
yes.
so powerful that it will be cloud and swallow up the federating,
federating unit.
The unit, yes. But at the same time, don't make it too weak so that it will encourage secession. Yeah, balance. We practiced that for 6 years, 1960 to 1966. And those were years of development for Nigeria. Now I'm talking about Awolowo. Awolowo had foreseen all these things, all this mess we are in now. He had procured ways of removing them, of preventing them, even in the 1940s. Yeah, he was a man of ideas. Yeah, and people trusted him. Look at what Awolowo did for Ibadan. You know, he didn't take all these modern developments and so on to Ikene. No, he saw Ibadan as the city that it is. The city is an essentially diverse city with all they have the land, has the features and so on. Let's make it the political headquarters of Yoruba people. The first secretariat, comprehensive secretariat, civil service secretariat in Nigeria was built in Ibadan here. Because we used to make excursions from Ekiti just to come and see the things that Awolowo had. The secretariat, Liberty Stadium, Lafia, whatever.
Cocoa House.
Cocoa House. Oh, Cocoa House has actually, it inspired a number of my poems, the one I call Village Voices. The first time my father saw Cocoa House, he came back home and said, Ile Awoshifila. Yeah, the house that is so tall that when you look at it, your cap falls off your head.
Like this.
Yeah. And then the mischievous man that he was, he said, but we work our bones off producing the cocoa. But I wasn't even allowed to open the door of the cocoa house.
The irony of
the cocoa house was called Ile Awon Agbe, the house of farmers. He said, am I one of the farmers? Because my father was a cocoa producer, farmer. Yeah. So Awolowo was a thinker. No wonder some of the British, I think was it Harold Wilson, who mentioned he mentioned his name in some of the things he said, about progressive leaders in New Africa. Nkrumah was his intellectual friend.
Okay.
I still remember what Nkrumah did in Ghana. You get to Ghana today, you know. Even in 1980, 81, 82, 83, when Ghana's economy was a mess, when you got there, you know, a great leader was once here. Yeah. Nigeria has never had a great leader. Awolowo could have been, but what did he do? They didn't allow him over there, so he concentrated his effort on the Southwest. I think this is how Southwest has been able to make some headway. He was able to do all that because he didn't ask for respect. He earned it.
Yeah,
and it came to him naturally like leaves to a tree, as John Keats would say. Yeah, he didn't need to. People are watching you. That's what he told his cabinet. You understand? When they met. At that time, there was no oil. Our terrible monster that has ruined Nigerian economy and Nigerian morality now. There was no oil. So he said, we're going to establish a free education system. Others were laughing at him. How are you going to finance it? He said, yeah, there is no money, but we will make it happen. Cocoa, palm kernels, palm oil, rubber. Yes, he said, and of course, gold you couldn't dig because the federal water. Whatever was coming from there will not. And then he told them, more or less, like it was like, you know, this money will be spent on our people. Whoever steals it will meet perdition or something like that.
It cost them.
Yes, you know. So his ministers worked with and for him. They looked up to him. They knew he was a leader without having to impose himself on them. You know, look at the way we talk about Awolowo today. No, free education,
Free it.
yeah, free education. 1955 January, when that program began. I will now today I still remember what the Ikere streets were like. You would have thought it was war. Children were coming out of the whole place. There were girls that were already in their late teens, you know, who went to school. They were, some of them had been betrothed. Yeah, but they went to school. They were so tall, they sat at the back. They had education. Some of them turned out to be nurses, to be doctors. One of them was even an engineer. This is how to develop a country, you know. So we've suffered a lot of regression since then because of Nigerian politics. But Awolowo had the idea of a modern state. NTA, 1959. Ibadan, it was in Ibadan. Nigeria had the television service before some European countries. Yeah, no. My problem now and my pain that we've not been able to sustain the legacy. So the people who are going all over the place who change parties like you change, like a prostitute changes a wardrobe. No, when they talk, I'm an Awoist. Yeah, the Awoist, are you sure? Which of his books have you read? None. How can I say I'm a Maoist when I haven't read? How can I say that I believe in the ideas of Gandhi when I didn't know what it stands for? Yeah, what the man stands for. And have you made the sacrifices that Awolowo has made? No. Our politicians today are interested in money.
Grabbing.
Yeah, grabbing. This is why this country is like this. Nigeria is not a poor country. Let everybody know that. No, there is money coming to this country. What has made us, what has pauperized us is the greed of our rulers.
And the reason why they cannot continue with the free education, free health, and all of that.
That is simply that's simply the issue.
And they continue to kill education.
Yeah, they kill education because they don't really value it. The gift that Awolowo gave to them, they are not passing on to coming generations because it was difficult. Free education in the West at that time was not easy at all. The East didn't have it, the North didn't have it. They were laughing at the West. But the West was large at that time, from here to Asantao.
Delta, Edo.
Yes, you know. I met somebody in Abraka who, 2004. They had a reception for me. It was a wonderful, wonderful time I had. So we were walking, and that man said he was an old man now. And he showed me the exercise book that he used when he was in primary school. And then and he said, he didn't go to university, but he told all his 4 children have been to university. 2 are doctors. You know, said if I hadn't enjoyed that free education, my children I would have perished in the bush, and my children would have perished. What legacy could be greater than that? Our new politicians, Awolowo was a leader. There is none I can call a leader in all the people, from federal to state to. There is nobody I can really call leader right now. I mean, with the caliber of Awolowo, it's the cap they are wearing. Yeah, that's okay. Look at the way they jump from party to party.
No ideology.
Yeah, the prostitution of the Nigerian political system. No ideology, no conviction. That means they are only interested in themselves. You are APC in the morning, PDP in the afternoon.
ADC.
What is it? Oh, ADC now. ADC at night. You have to watch it. Otherwise,
Labor.
you might be labor. And what is labor doing? The real labor. Nigeria has lost this kind of labor. I remember as a member of ASUU, when we wanted to, first we fraternized with labor. Bless BJ, bless Mahmoud Tukur, blessed Olorode Fashino, and others. The military government didn't want us to fraternize with labor because they said we would sell them revolutionary ideas. But somehow the two of us
worked together.
Yes, and they were able to do some work. That was the time of Sumano. So on. And people like Alao Akabasho and Ganifa Oyemi were also there. Labor then had its own ideology. When they say solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, we shall always fight for our rights. They knew what solidarity is. They also know what the rights are. Now, are you telling me it's the same labor we're talking about here with all the fractions and so on? Even Oshiomhole did his own bit, especially the way he confronted Obasanjo. No, that is not the kind of labor anybody could run to, and within 2 days, you say you are going to be a political leader. It doesn't happen that way. UK's Labour Party evolved. It was after the Second World War or so. I mean, you could see that the conservative, the Tories, needed some opposition, real generative opposition, and Labour provided it. And give or take, Labour has been following that all along. Care for the weak, food for the hungry, make social services available. let there be safety nets for them, because we cannot all struggle and succeed at the same time. Those that fall behind, make sure that they don't fall into the pit. Take care of them. In Nigeria today, the money that should be taking care of those people, where is it? It is in the bank accounts of our rulers. Nigeria is not a poor country, but Nigeria is a misgoverned country.
Yeah.
This is where the issue of corruption comes in. Two words beginning with C, or if you pronounce it K, that's me talking like a linguist now, killing Nigeria. The first one is corruption. The second one is, is incompetence.
Okay. The first one is what?
Is corruption.
Corruption, okay.
Yeah. The other one is competence.
Okay.
But there is no competence, so we had IN, incompetence.
Okay.
I think I did a poem on that when Buhari was in power. So when corruption weds incompetence, it is a terrible thing. That is what is killing this country today. And that is why countries abroad, so-called developed countries abroad, are so, they are angry in a way and also mystified at the lack of development of Nigeria. Because we have so much money. But I have always said it, it is one thing for you to live on top of a flowing river. It is another thing for you to know how to put the water in your mouth. Technology, education, extremely important. Corruption, these people don't talk about it. One country in the world where I see that corruption pays is Nigeria. You steal the people's money, no problem. They give you a title in the church. The Malam, what is it? We pray for you on Friday, and local musicians will sing your songs. Or when the EEFC invites you, you go there with your gang of looters, you transform it into a carnival. Oh, I almost said cannibal. To a carnival. And you stay there for a couple of hours and you go back and we never hear about you again. Or if you are party A and you are being persecuted for stealing our money, the following day you change to party B. If party B is the party in power, your crime is forgotten. How can the country be run like this and make progress? Nigeria's underdevelopment is not a surprise at all.
Did you actually apply to study English in the university? And if you have not been an English teacher, what would you have been?
You have a wonderful memory. dangerous journalist. I was admitted to University of Ibadan to study English. But I applied to only 2 universities in the country then, where there were few. Mass Communications, University of Lagos.
Oh, then?
Yes.
Okay.
And English, University of Ibadan. I loved mass communications. Yeah, I loved accountancy, maybe because of the way it sounds, but I don't have the mathematics.
Okay.
No. So
what do you have in mathematics?
Oh, I think I must have had a P.
Okay.
Maybe not P.
P7 or P8?
7.
Oh, you're more brilliant than I. Because I have 8.
My principal was really wanting to say, yeah, you would have had a parallel, but this mathematics, I never like it. So, mass communications was what I wanted. Incidentally, I would have been in the first set to study mass communications as a degree course.
Okay.
What they had before them was a diploma or something like that.
Okay.
They
did not have a degree.
They did no.
At the time you applied there?
Yes, only a few of us were admitted.
To study diploma?
No, to study mass communication as a degree.
Okay.
I was given admission, but I didn't go there.
Okay.
If I had gone there, I would have been in the first set or so. English. Now, I come from a polygynous family. My father struggled to see me through a grammar school, to see me through Christ school. And I had brothers and sisters who were also growing. How will father be able to handle all this? I needed a scholarship. So I applied for federal scholarship, but it usually took time before it came. And the principal of Christ School, when I finished at Christ School in 1968, it was December. At that time, the Christ School, the secondary school program and the university program had not been synchronized. You know, you will have to wait from December until universities resumed in September. Yeah. So the 9 months. So Chief Ogunlade, bless him, called me. Osundare said, sir, because I really worked at Christ School. That was where I built my creative and journalistic, because I edited the school newsletter, Agidimo.
Okay. What do you call it?
Agidimo.
Agidimo, okay.
Yeah, Christ School is built on the hill called Agidimo Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, and Agidimo is the rhinoceros insect.
Okay.
So it's 2 minutes. Oh, revived it. It was so good. Bless Moyo Ogundipe, my friend who passed away some time ago. Good friends, we were in the same class, but he was an artist.
Okay.
He was the one who did the drawing of Agidimo. It went so well that my teacher, my housemaster called me and said, you must do a house magazine.
Okay.
The house magazine had been done before, but it became, they forgot it more or less. And I said, we needed a name. I went round and democratically, I went through all the houses, you know, Danimo house. So I sat down. You know, Danimo was very good in sports, and the house color was green. So people submitted all kinds of names, some of them fair, some not. And I said, I then took champion, and then took green. I put the green champion. So the house magazine was called the Green Champion, and I invited contributions. Christ School is a proud university. It's a proud school. Oh my God! And very, very, very well endowed people. They sent so many articles. Some students sent 3.
A student.
Yeah. Now, a student went through all this together. I don't know who taught me the editorial job, whatever. And we produced the Green Champion. Went very well. The principal saw it and said, you have done this, and then you did the other one. Now the school history. I was a student, and I started working on that as well. Then one of our teachers came, Mr. Ward, Christopher Ward. I think it must have come from Oxford. Yeah, the secondary school in AdoEkiti. He was my teacher. He taught me the metaphysical poets, and we liked each other. So the principal then saw me and said, this person will do a better job. Because I was on my way to the university anyway. So Mr. Ward took over, and he did a fantastic job. So I was his collaborator one way or another. 3 publications, and I was in HSC. So that was how mass communication appeared to me. But Chief Ogunlade then said, you have been a very oh, I'm happy that you are a first-rate student in all ways. That was his report, what he put in my report card. And he said, we want your relationship with this school to be forever. Christ School is going to give you a scholarship. I then thanked him. I said, I applied to Ibadan for English and Lagos for mass communications. And he said, we don't teach mass communications here. So the scholarship will only be for English. That was it.
Okay.
And what happened? I'm at a grammar school, my first school. 1 week later, wrote to me to say that they had given me a scholarship.
Okay.
It became a body. I had my loyalty to both schools. But unfortunately, I had already said yes to Christ School. I didn't reply my principal's letter. I went physically to Amoy Grammar School. I prostrated for Baba. And I said, I've already, and he said, is that why you are sad? We are happy. We produced you for them. No. Yeah, that one. Then mass communication and English work more or less the same. Because I had secured a school scholarship, I then sent my acceptance letter to the University of Ibadan, BA English.
Okay.
The letter, I dropped the letter in the hole and I was walking towards the classroom. When the, what's his name? When the postmaster sent for me, said, you have another letter. That one was from Lagos University, mass communication. But I had already
accepted.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is how I ended up. But I was young then, but I knew with English I could also practice journalism.
Which you are actually doing.
From the way you are talking to me now, what about you too? English, yeah. Then newspapers, Newswatch, and so on, much later. Now, Ibadan University gave me, in those days, you were offered 3 subjects. And then the major. English was my major.
Okay.
Latin was and I tell you, I still love Latin. Latin was, and then the other one was history. I love history too. But I wanted something outside the humanities. Just one subject. Okay. So I spoke with the head of the department, said, you are going to do that yourself, because we don't want, it was an Oyibo, we don't want to be seen to be stealing the students of other departments. So I went to sociology and I told Professor Tite or something.
Social sciences.
Social sciences, yes. Reluctantly, he agreed. Now, Latin. So that was how he agreed. Then I went back to the department, to the faculty. I went to classics. And I told Professor, was it Thompson? And he said,
Thompson what?
Oh, there was Alistair Thompson.
Okay.
That was our head of department. There was the other Thompson, Caribbean, but whitish.
Caribbean. Okay. So you were taught by white?
Oh, yeah. Our department, when I entered the University of Ibadan in 1969, there were only 3 black lecturers. Professor Zebaye, Dr. Zebaye, Dr. Vincent, Dr. Ogumba.
Zebaye taught you?
From 1969 to 1972. That's somebody whose name I mentioned everywhere. Banjo.
Banjo also taught you?
Oh, yes.
Professor Ayobanjo?
Professor Ayobanjo, oh, yes. He didn't only teach me, he was a role model too. Okay. So that is it. That is how I then I traded history for drama. So English major, sociology subsidiary, and drama subsidiary.
What inspired you to become a poet?
What inspired me?
Yes.
It will take
just very briefly.
a year to my upbringing.
Okay.
My father was a drummer. Okay. He was a farmer, quite all right. When we were working on the farm, he was singing. Oh, always singing. Alamo Ekiti. Yeah. And he was a drummer. He carried drum, the bata. He carried bata or Ekiti. Bata is different from bata here. You know, you hold it between your legs and you, and the percussion is heavy. Whenever my father was respected for that. His own sister was also a drummer and a singer. So the song is in our family. Whenever I saw them, I respected them. And my father had a wonderful voice too. Then I grew up, right from the elementary school, I had been on the stage. You know, drama and so on. And at a point, we began to compose our own plays. We began to, when we were in secondary school. I love knowledge. I love literature. When I read a good work, I say to myself, I hope sometime I'll be able to write like this. I'll be able to sing like this. And so within the family, music is there. The drum is there. What about the culture, Yoruba culture, on the larger stage? No, I have yet to find a culture that is more musical. I mean, a language that is more musical than Yoruba. The songs, you know. Everything is...
the idioms, the proverbs.
The idioms, the proverbs, yes. And the festivals. Oh, Ikere had AdeolaFayehun Festival, Osun Festival, Oloba Festival. You know, one thing, Oguoye. No, Egungun. No, and I love those. I used to get lost. When those people were passing our street, I would join them and be dancing and singing with them. And my mother would be looking for me. You know, it's always been like me. But I've always wanted to write. Write too. What is it? On the walls in our house. I should get a copy of Sule's book one for him. A biography. He did it. He interviewed my mother. And my mother said, I was always writing something on the wall, and that it would be difficult for her to clean the thing. You know, I chose writing. I chose literature very early.
One of the thematic preoccupation of your poetry is eco.
Oh yes.
Eco-criticism, ecology. Of course, you have a book, you know, on eco-literature, the heights of the earth. What do you think? Number one, what inspires you, you know, to think towards eco-literature? Again, what do you think is the disposition of the Nigerian government towards our ecosystem?
Briefly, that kind of family and cultural inspiration that I was talking about a while ago, I think it's also responsible for this. Our family name is Osundare. Osun, that's a river. That's a very, very important aspect of our environment. Yeah. I was born in the rainforest region of Africa. Trees all over the place. We walked through all kinds of places before getting to the farm. My father was also a herbalist of a kind. At times when he was going to the forest, I would join them, you know, and he would pluck leaves, he would we take the bark, part of the bark of one tree, and then we will go for the root of another. We depended on nature. Yes, we depended on nature. The house we lived in, before corrugated iron sheets came, the house was roofed with leaves away from the farm, or you can put bamboo, the one you make from
that tree, that long one.
Yeah, yes,
the bamboo tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everything about us we took from nature. And my father used to say, be careful the way you treat a river.
Okay.
Because if you poison it at some place, it will take your poison down its course. It might kill somebody over there. Which reminds me of what the Native Americans say. We did not inherit this earth from our parents. We borrowed it from our children. Yeah. So we have a respect for nature. Yeah. Everything we have, we depended on nature. The rain. We are an agrarian people. When the rain fell, our crop was good. When the rain didn't fall, when there was a drought, famine would result. So our life and the movement of nature itself were hand in hand. It is this respect. As I said, when I encountered the damage that was done to our campus over there at the University of Ibadan, when they destroyed that park, Heritage Park, the shock I had, I have still to recover from it, because I love trees. My father said, if you listen very well, you talk to trees, they will talk back to you. They are our neighbors. The bulk of the Eye of the Earth I wrote at the Botanical Garden. Yeah, just the first movement is forest echoes. The trees all around. Yeah, that was I used to literally live there. The Botanical Garden at that time was fantastic. Quiet. And so this is it. And we are nothing without our environment. And the way we treat our environment dictates the way we treat one another. Yes, and I see the interconnectedness too. In the book, the trees of the world, I present them as talking to one another. And this is it, unity. And this is why I'm so sad that the Nigerian government is not even talking about the environment. The Nigerian ruler's idea about space is concrete and iron, build houses. That our cities have no parks. Trees give us our oxygen. Yeah, in fact, in that book, trees are talking themselves. We give you life. We give you protection. When the sun is high, we give you somewhere to hide. We give you a shade, a place for the poet to stand and stare. It takes educated people, truly educated leaders to know this. Rulers cannot respect the environment because they are not deep enough. It takes people who think. We need more people who think to govern us, not rulers who can only rule. So the environment is extremely important. Without it, we are gone. Now look at climate change. I hope you know that I was a victim of Katrina. Nearly killed me and my wife. But for our neighbor, it would have been history. 26 hours, we were hanging on to we were in the attic. Our house was full of water because the sea lake came to our house 9 feet up. That's how we lost everything we had. We were lucky that we were able to climb to so our legs and whatever were in the water. We were able to keep our head above the water. Yeah. Hurricanes are becoming more and more atrocious because of the change. You know, we've disrupted the planetary and equilibrium. Yeah, you know, it's not good for too much heat to come. It is not good for too much cold to arrive. Yeah. So our health, our being on this earth depends upon how we treat the earth.
Looking back, which of your books do you feel best represents who you are? And I also want you to talk about how you want to be remembered.
Oh, let's begin with the first one. That best represents who I am.
Yes.
That would be extremely difficult to say. Yeah, just like asking me which of my children do you think? But no, from what you have known about me, and we have known each other for a long time, and from the way this interview has been going, you know, I'm a very passionate person. I don't write. I can't talk without a passion. I can't say what I don't mean. Every letter I have written carries that. Whether even it's letter to the editor, whether it's my poetry books, whether it's the columns I write in the newspapers. Yes, each of them bear my fingerprint, and also yes, and my soul print too. So all of them, one way or another. Now the second one, I want to be remembered. Oh well, this lucky man who lived his life and did all he could before he folded his hands. It's as simple as that. I consider myself a very lucky person. The University of New Orleans had the reception for me on October 1st last year. I said that, some guy asked me.
Last year, reception?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a reception, and the reading, some kind of celebration. That was my kind of background. How come it? I say I'm lucky. At AdoEkiti on March 12, when they had this reception for me, that was also what I said. I am a lucky person. 64 of us finished at St. Luke's School in 1959. Only 3 of us could make it to secondary school. Yeah. If my father hadn't grown and produced cocoa, I would have ended up in the backwood like the others. 50 pounds a year was what was required to send us to school. Many of the parents couldn't afford that, and their children had to keep on farming with them. So, and I tell you, this is why I am the way I am. My blood rises when I see people being cheated. My blood rises when I see people are hungry. No, we have enough in this world. We have enough in this country to go around. So, well, it is left for history to read my works and make up their mind. But is somebody, son of humble parents, who is a humble person himself. Somebody who is passionate about justice. Yes, justice all around. Ecological justice, political justice, economic justice, and so on. I always dream of a better world. The white person is my friend. The Igbo person, the Hausa person, the Yoruba person, Efik, Idoma, I see them as friends. I look at the basic essence of humanity, and I discover that we are all one.
On the last note, sir, before a thank you handshake. How do you react to literature as art for art's sake? Paying attention to African literature, and what are your thoughts on the role of indigenous language in Nigerian literature today?
Ah, my God. Double decker. I think my third book of third book of poetry dealt with that. It's called A Nib in the Pond. The book is full of meta poems. That is, poems written on how and why poems are written. Art for art's sake is what I call art for art's sake. Art for art's sake is A-R-T, right? But I say, no, if we push that too much, it becomes art for art's sake, A-S-S. Yeah. I was harassed when I started writing. Oh, your work is too political. People still say so. And what I tell them is, what do you mean political? My very presence in this world is political. So, the kind of work you produce depends upon the circumstances under which you were born and where you live. I don't think it is possible for an African writer today to say, oh yes, I only write for the artistic, no. I was here for 6 days, there was no electricity, I had to write about NEPA. No, art for us, art is important. The Yoruba know the gravity of beauty, they also know the necessity of Iwulo, Ewa, Iwulo. The two have to come together. So at first, yeah, this one sake, primary sake that art has is human. The other one,
Indigenous language.
Oh, indigenous language, yes. I'm a supporter of that too. In fact, I remember the last time Gugi and I spoke. I didn't know, I was to see him when I returned to the US. I didn't know he would die. That is how he made his name, and he was a very, very courageous man. The indigenous languages are suffering, no doubt about that. And the problem is, again, because we don't have thoughtful leaders in Africa. Language is not just natural, it is natural, but it is also political. You know, there is something called language engineering. We had something close to it some years ago when they say every Nigerian child must learn the language of the environment and then add 2 others. Nobody is talking about that any longer. No. I write in both languages. In fact, the books I have published in the past 10 years or so, at least I make it a point of doing that one of them must be in Yoruba, and then there will be an English translation about it. Why? English is not my mother tongue. In fact, I have an essay in one of my books. The title is Yoruba Thought, English Words, A Poet's Journey Through the Tunnel of Two Tongues. I know the battle in my mind when I'm writing in English, because the ideas come to me in Yoruba, and you have to do them in English, just like Achebe did in most of his work, especially Things Fall Apart. I still believe very much that the future of African literature belongs to the indigenous languages, but that's going to be a long future, that's one. But it doesn't also mean that European languages will be, no, French, Portuguese, Arabic, Arabic, French, Portuguese, Spanish, and so on, and English, they are here with us. No problem about that. The problem now is that they've taken over the ground. No. It was Kofi Awuno who said, a man who has 2 languages has 2 souls. It's true, yeah. My works have been translated into about 12 languages. You know, in fact, the most recent one was in Serbia. You know, those people translated collections and collections, and in the end, when they were putting this thing together, they wrote to me. They said they would like the first poem there to be a Yoruba poem. And and I was so happy. You know, I said, as if you knew my mind. I did it, and I sent it with the English translation. They said, no, English translation keep. It's the Yoruba that we want to use. You know, the one I'm working on now also has a Yoruba poem in it. Even the one I did on the environment, you know, the first poem on the section dealing with trees is called Igida. Igida. It's difficult. You do it and then you do the English translation as well. Call it token. Token is also important here now. This to let people know, yeah, this language lives. No, it is still part of the colonial burden. How can you talk about language now to people who are hungry? Yeah, they won't even understand you. You know.
Prof, thank you so much for your time. And I really appreciate you for granting this interview. That is it from our chat with Professor NiyiOsundare. There is nothing to be said again. He has said it all. The only thing that is left is to tell you that you comment, you like, and you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring story. Thank you for watching. Bye.